It's almost 7 at night, and Rosa Ramirez had a fruitful day.
Les encantan, a los mexicanos les encantan las pupusas.
Today, sales were good, but Ramirez says it isn't always this way. She sells the pupusas she makes at this market in Hillsboro, Oregon, a traditional dish from her home country, El Salvador.
Yo estaba embarazada y me balearon cuando estuvo la guerra.
Ramirez says she was pregnant when she almost died at a shooting during the Civil War in her country.
Me balearon y me mataron al bebé.
Her unborn child did not survive. Heartbroken, she left El Salvador in 1992. Oregon has been her home for the last 30 years.
Cuando yo vine aquí no había nadie quien hablara nada de español, nada de solo inglés, solo inglés. Y a mí se me hizo difícil porque fui de niñera y pura gente americana, entonces empecé a luchar con el inglés.
Ramirez is one of the almost 600,000 Latinos living in the state. According to the 2020 census, Oregon's Latino population grew by more than 30% in the last 10 years. Latinos are now the largest minority group in the state, and their numbers have grown faster than the national rate in each of the last 3 decades.
It just shows that we are making a mark and we are growing, and I think people are acknowledging that we are a growing population.
Maria Caballero Rubio, executive director at Centro Cultural of Washington County, says she has seen steady growth since her farm worker family settled in Washington County in 1969. They migrated from Durango, Mexico.
Say maybe 8 years ago, the only flags we had up here were the Mexican flag, because a lot of people have their ethnicity from Mexico, and then we had the American flag. But then the more that we started having visitors, they would say, mi bandera, ¿dónde está?
Mi bandera, ¿dónde está? Where's my flag?
So we decided that we would bring in the flag for people who come to visit.
Caballero says that the thriving Latino population is starting to rise out of the fields and into professional jobs.
We had jobs in farm work, or we had jobs in landscaping and those kinds of things. But more and more, as our communities have stayed here and the next generations have grown up and they become educated, they are coming back as professionals.
More than half of Oregon's Latino population is in 3 counties: Multnomah, Washington, and Marion. There, the Latino communities grew by at least 25% in the last decades.
We are becoming more visible now. I have to say, 10 years ago, you couldn't find an elected official here in Washington County or the Portland metro area that was Latino.
In fact, Carmen Rubio became Portland's first Latinx city commissioner in 2020. She is Caballero's daughter. Caballero says the younger population may cause a shift in politics, as more become eligible to vote when they turn 18.
There's more representation in the Latino community in the state legislature, city councils, more Latinos getting into office representing these growing communities across the state. Will this last?
I think so. I think it will last. We're going to move forward and we're going to continue making change, social and systems changes that need to happen because of historic disenfranchisement of people of color.
The state once legally banned Black people.
Department heads and managers and, police chiefs and all of those. I think that they have not taken steps to be more inclusive in terms of recruiting and making it more available to people of color to apply. That's an area that we still lack.
The increase of the Latino population here in Oregon has also been propelled by new waves of migrants. One of those waves is the Venezuelan migration fleeing poverty and the government in their country. According to the American Community Survey, there are more than 1,400 Venezuelans living in the state of Oregon.
And everybody's struggling to find food, medical supplies, or jobs, especially safety.
Venezuelan Giselle Rincon is president and co-founder of the nonprofit Venezuela's Voice in Oregon. Rincon says the new Venezuelan migrants are facing new challenges.
Mostly access to education, how to find a job, how to navigate the system, where to apply, Most of the Venezuelans are professionals and they want to help prosper the economy of Oregon.
I think our new generations are becoming more involved. They are, getting an education.
Back at the Hillsborough market, Jaime Miranda says he was one of only a few Mexican immigrants in his neighborhood when he moved from Chihuahua, Mexico in 1985. He was 10 years old. He went to college and has owned this Latino market for 22 years. He started it with only 12 vendors. Now the establishment has 66.
How's the Latino community changed in the last 10 years here in Oregon?
From migrant workers to people who are starting their business, own their homes, they are getting a career and education. So we are definitely shifting to that second generation where they are integrated and they understand how to navigate the system and be part of the community as a whole.
Porque ahora ya se ve más hispano que antes. Antes no se veía nada de hispano. Era raro el hispano aquí en Oregon.
As for Rosa Ramirez, she says she carries El Salvador in her heart, but she's beyond grateful to the United States, a nation that gave her a new life and optimism about the next generation. Axel Trucios, Newsy, Oregon.